Hello. Welcome to Spherical Luminosity's YouTube Live. Not sure what the spazzy jazz hands were about, but that's what came through in the moment. Anyway, and that would be Fiona's jazz hand. So today what we're going to be doing in YouTube Live is discussing the timeline tearaway, which is a huge topic that's been happening in the past month. And thank you guys for jumping in to the chat, saying where you're from and your first name. I actually can't see all of your names because the monitor is really far away, and for some reason we can't get your names on the big monitor. So thank you all for writing in. At least you can see each other, which is the thing that's important. So my name is Karen Chong. I catalyze your shift from the ordinary to the exhilaration of the quantum by giving you the tools to change your frequency resonance so that the life you live matches the life you dream of. Now, for those of you who are brand new to frequency work and don't know much about it, I'd recommend checking out episode 176 of Mastering Your World of Frequencies, which is our podcast. You can find it on this channel called Frequency Work Fundamentals Reboot. So you can find it right here on this channel, and that's episode 176. So today, like I said, we're going to be talking about something really exciting. Or I don't know if it's exciting. I think it's important, but I don't know if it's exciting. It is exciting in the end, I think. But it is the timeline tearaway. And to help me with this awesome discussion is my fantastic co-host, Miss Fiona Malcolm. Ta-da! I know, the magic. Magic of technology. All right, guys, here we go. So what have you got for me today?
Well, I was having this chat with a friend, and I was just saying, about how have you been experiencing some really funky stuff, and how we were describing it was, like, I'll be walking up the stairs to my bathroom, and I'm gonna brush my teeth, and the next thing I've got this flashback into me being like a 7-year-old outside picking off chewing gum off the pavement to put in my mouth. I know that sounds disgusting. But I'm suddenly right there on the stair. I could smell the chewing gum. I could trying to pick it off the pavement. Oh, God. Of all the things to share. Anyways.
I know. I was like, wow. I'm jumping in.
Yeah. So, and it's so random and so fast. And as quickly as it comes and as strong as it came, boom, it went.
Yeah.
And I'm walking along my bathroom like, whoa, what was that?
Yeah.
And there's no relation to anything.
Yeah.
And the same thing, I can be in the kitchen, I'm making myself a cup of tea, and suddenly I'm in the snow in Scotland making snow angels as a kid, and I can feel the cold, but yet the sun on my face, and I'm like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
And she was saying the same thing's happening to her.
Yeah.
She's having it through dreams.
Dreams. Okay.
She's back in her house, in her bedroom,
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if this is a similar kind of thing. Because we have been talking about this a few times.
Yeah.
That this timeline is collapsing, but is this how we're experiencing it?
Yeah.
Part of it?
Yeah. And for those of you who are in Living Your Brilliance, you'll know more about what we're talking about, or even the Limitless Potential Mastermind, because we've been working on this quite a lot. And the reason this is so important, so I'm going to go kind of zoom out in big picture a little bit.
Okay, go on.
So for those of you who've been watching our YouTube lives, you know that there was that timeline collapse at the end of May.
Yeah.
Right? And then at the beginning of July, there was a collective timeline, a time jump, actually, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't know what I'm talking about, then go back and watch the YouTube lives that we gave at that time to support.
They're on your channel, right?
Yeah, they're on our channel. So go back and look at those YouTube lives if you want like a deeper discussion of that. What's happening right now is that we have this amazing opportunity to release these heavier, denser timelines. And these are the timelines where you were really wounded, where you were the most like powerless in a way, the most hopeless, the most deep in your own heavy distortion patterns. Like, so for example, if you're somebody who struggles with self-worth, that would be really up for you right now, because at that time, that timeline, so just to make this clear, a timeline, the version of you and the resonance that you are pretty much reflections of each other. Okay? So meaning the timeline that you get to experience is a reflection of your resonance, and the version of you that showed up in that timeline is also a reflection of that resonance.
Okay, so let me just ask a question, because you're saying a reflection of the resonance. Is it a reflection of the resonance now?
No,
That's
then.
coming up? Or it's a reflection of the resonance of that timeline that you're you're remembering.
Yes, it's the timeline that you're about to release.
Uh-huh.
So these are the timelines where you felt like the worst, basically, in your
Okay,
life.
all
And the
right.
version of you that showed up then, you don't really recognize anymore because you have done, different work, you've
Yeah.
internal work, you've made different choices. Like, you're a different person now.
Yes.
Generally speaking.
Yeah.
But so that's generally what's happening. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So these heavier, denser timelines are being released. Now, why does that matter? Like, who cares?
Yeah,
Right?
right.
Who cares? Well, because if those release and dissolve, then what you consider to be your wounding, the disempowerment, those heavy, naggy, old distortion patterns that are really, really deep, if those dissolve, you don't have a reference for them anymore. They're just not there. So that means that in your every day, you have access to higher level timelines, generally speaking.
Okay. Okay, so let me just put a little bit of spanner in the works
Yeah.
there. What happens if it's a random, really happy memory? What's that then?
Then that's okay because this is just the lower, heavier, denser timelines. So if you have a happy memory in those timelines, I hate to tell you this, but the memories that you have will generally dissolve.
Okay.
I know it's not like they're not there. It's just
Yeah.
that you won't really think about them that much. It's like they're harder, they're almost dreamlike.
Yeah.
Like harder for you to access.
Yes, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I know that scares some people because they're like, their memories are how they associate with people they love who maybe not with them anymore.
Yeah.
And so for them, it's like scary because they're like, oh, no. I don't want to let go of this timeline because in that timeline, this person existed. Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
They were a certain person. I might not have liked them very much, or I may have loved them a lot. I don't really know, but they existed. And so we can kind of hang on to those lower, heavier timelines because we associate them sometimes with people that we love.
Oh, wow, I just thought I was losing my mind because of menopause, but actually it's, well, not my mind, my memory. But I'm talking like this because I'm wondering if people that are watching are having a similar experience. Like you're really losing words or you're losing memories that were so clear like last year are suddenly like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Where is that? I knew that memory. I had it so strong. Now it's gone.
Gone. Yeah.
Is something happening to my head?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Am I just losing my marbles?
Am I just losing my marbles? So now, come back to the timelines dissipating. Does this mean then, if we're having the experiences, is it cause and effect, that, we're having them because we're shifting into another timeline? Or is this just giving us the opportunity to see what we need to let go of to move into a newer timeline? Or,
Yeah. So it's more of the former in the sense that it's something that's happening across the board.
Okay.
So a lot of people right now, so to give more context to the experience. So what that might be for a lot of you who are watching is that you are in some of these heavy old patterns that you remember and that you've run for a really, really long time. Okay. And you're really in them. And it's not for you to suffer. Because generally speaking, let's just say, you're fine, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't usually run those. But all of a sudden in the past couple of weeks, you're just like in the pit of despair, or you're really, you're feeling like really sad, or you have a lot of grief.
Yeah.
Because even though we are releasing these timelines, we're attached to them too.
Yeah.
And so we have grief, and then we resist the release of them because we're like, oh my God, like what's going to happen? Am I going to lose my connection to the person I loved? What of my identity have I lost?
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that we are attached to as humans that don't necessarily serve us,
Yeah.
but we're still attached to them,
Yeah.
So there's resistance there. So just as a little example, okay, what does that kind of look like?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so we had a client share recently that she was on a trip with her family in Yosemite. Okay, so
Okay.
she lives in California, but she doesn't live close to Yosemite. So they were all excited. They were going to go camping there together. It was going to be her husband, two girls, and it was like a family vacation, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they're really excited, and Yosemite's really beautiful.
Stunning.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely stunning. And so anyway, they decide that they're going to go up this really steep trail. Okay, and they get partway up the trail, and she starts to feel really not well. Okay, so she's starting to get dizzy. She starts to feel nauseous. She's starting to feel like, kind of like not just woozy, but like see stars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So she tells them, you guys go on. I'll go back and I'll wait for you. But what she felt when she made that decision, because she really wanted to keep going, but she couldn't. Like she was just like, this is really not safe because it's a really steep trail. It's really rocky and I am not well. So I need to stop. So she made the decision to turn back and her family continued. But as she was going back down the trail and passing all these people, all of her low self-worth stuff came up.
Right.
You know, all her non-deserving. She kept thinking to herself, I'm such a freaking failure. I can't believe I couldn't climb up this mountain. Like, you know, and then as all these people passed her, she's like, they're all so much like fitter and thinner and younger and better than me, and they're more put together. Right. So now she's in this spin,
Real
right?
big, deep
yeah.
ones.
In deep one. Yeah. So she's in the patterning, right, of all this. So finally, she's like now like next to tears, right? And she's feeling to herself like, I'm such a failure. There's something just like fundamentally wrong with me, and that I can't be fixed, and I'm just 100% alone. So this is her internal experience. Like no one else can see this, right?
Yeah.
This is in herself. And then she was like, and now this woman's in Living Her Brilliance. She was like, wait a minute. You know, she had this weird, because she's in Living Her Brilliance, she had the opportunity to be like, wait a minute. What's going on here? These are patterns that I've run, like I feel like forever. And I'm feeling them really strongly. And even though they feel really true in this moment, I mean, even though they feel really real in this moment, they're not true. It's not true what I'm thinking to myself.
Yeah, they're just thoughts.
They're just thoughts and they're just emotions, and and she's like, I don't want to have this anymore. So she's quietly by herself and confirms the removal, and you know, waits for her family.
They confirm the removal
Removal
of
all
these
the
old
old patterns,
and distortion patterns
yeah.
that she knows should be in the past.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
And also because she's doing Living Her Brilliance, and we've been talking about it, she was just like, I have the awareness that these are these heavy old timelines, and I am going to release these now. Okay. So anyway, that night she ends up having this dream, and it's funny because I show up in the dream apparently, and she's on an IFC with me, which I thought was kind of cute. But anyway, she's on an IFC with me, and apparently in the dream, unbeknownst to me, I say to her, "You're doing amazing. Your frequency resonance is like skyrocketing." And she says, "You'll never believe this, Karen, but it feels like I'm flying." And in her dream, she's flying over like where she used to live when she grew up and all this sort of stuff.
Oh, so again in the past. Wow.
And when she wakes up, she doesn't have any heaviness from those old timelines anymore.
She literally just went,
She's like, done.
nice.
Yes. So that's what I mean by that, right? It's like, I mean, I'm not saying that this woman will never ever feel non-deserving ever again, but the heaviness of it has released,
Right.
right?
Right.
So that's what I mean by, that's kind of like what this can show up as.
Okay, so let's talk about the purpose of it then, because I mean, it sounds like, but isn't that what we're just doing anyways? Every time we do Living Your Brilliance or Limitless Potential Mastermind or a Group Frequency Calibration, it's all about releasing distortion patterns.
Yeah.
So what's different about this time?
Yeah.
What makes it different?
What makes it different is
Yeah.
that, so when this whole thing is happening, right, it's happening collectively.
Right.
So you can see people really struggling right now. Like they're exhausted, or they're behaving badly, or they're highly emotional,
Yeah.
or there's a lot of drama, or there's a lot of chaos, or all of the above, right? Like all of it's just happening, right?
Yeah.
And there's like overwhelm, they're like, you know, I can't deal, right?
Yeah, I have seen that.
So
I felt it as well.
Yeah, exactly. You can see it usually in how people are driving. Often you can be like, oh, okay, right. This is what's happening right now. A lot of agitation in the field.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people are getting stuck in those lower, heavier timelines. Because like just like that woman who was on the trail, she was in the patterns at first.
Yeah.
Right? She actually experienced what she used to. Because let me just tell you, this woman does not normally experience that anymore.
Yeah.
Right? She's done enough internal work. She's done enough frequency work. She's like, this is not usually my state. So why am I experiencing, you know what I mean? Why am I experiencing this? But a lot of people don't even recognize this is what's happening.
Yeah.
You know, they are getting caught in the emotional and the thought experience of these lower, heavier timelines releasing. So they stay in it. They don't actually release it. They just kind of like wallow in those lower, heavier timelines. And what's important right now is for you to release it so that you can let go of those suckers, and so that you can move into an experience where you have access to much higher resonating timelines without the heaviness of those old heavy ones.
Okay, so I think what we're saying here, because it's different now from just like the GFCs and whatever's we've been doing before, is that we have access now to higher resonating frequency timelines that weren't available before. Is that what we're saying?
And they weren't available to the same degree, because remember that your resonance is the key that unlocks access to those higher resonating timelines. Okay? So if you have heaviness in your field because those lower, heavier timelines are running through your field, you don't have as much access to those higher resonating timelines. It's just,
yeah.
It's kind of like you're the sum of your parts, you
Yeah.
know? And so the thing is, the higher your resonance, the more access you have to higher level timelines. So it gives you greater access. I'm sorry.
Sorry,
Go ahead. What are you going to say?
I keep
You're like bursting here. What are you going to say?
Yeah, because it sounds just like, well, yeah, that's what we do every time anyways. But I think what's not being stated quite so loud is that it's because we're in this time right now where we're in this changeover of the consciousness.
That's right.
Right. So literally it is really about leaving what we think human is behind.
Yes, exactly. And if you can take advantage of this time, exactly what you said, right? It's about really jumping in your resonance. This is all to help us. It's not here to harm you. Okay, just to make that really clear.
Yeah.
So if you know what's happening and you can have this jump in your resonance, just think about what it feels like when you access a higher level resonance. So not only do you feel better, not only does your life look better, but it means that when you start to do things like frequency work, even more, what opens to you in terms of possibility, what you can do on spirit level, at the level of the quantum, rises, meaning like what you have access to is greater. So whether that's clearer intuition, whether that's feeling more, at ease with yourself, even when everyone else is freaking out, whether that's some of the stuff that we're going to be releasing this fall, in terms of we're going to be releasing this really cool series called Power, Authority, and Sovereignty, which you'll see a little bit later on.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, exactly. But what we can do in those workshops now, when we come together and do frequency work, is so much more high in resonance. It's exponential. And what you can release in those workshops is greater because we've cast off this lower thing,
right?
This lower
so
resonance.
Finally meaning it's not just cast it off, yeah, okay, we've done it, but it actually will disappear.
Yes, it dissolves.
It dissolves.
It dissolves.
Okay, go and tell the story.
Which one?
The amazing story. I don't know if I can say her name, but she's in Limitless Potential Mastermind.
Yeah.
The hot water story.
Yeah, no. This is amazing.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
We talk about
just shifting.
Everything.
Yeah. So we did this. So I know more of these stories from Limitless Potential Mastermind guys because this is where we share stories more. You know what I mean? And I have more, we have access to each other in the sense that people can ask me questions and we share stories. And of course, we do this really deep work. And in Limitless Potential Mastermind, we focused on this topic alone.
This topic being
releasing these heavier, denser timelines.
Right.
Just that for one LPM gathering because it was really intense. Anyway, so meaning the resonance was really high. People experienced a lot of expansion. A lot of people released a lot of stuff. A lot of people fell asleep actually because the resonance was so high.
And there's another story you have to tell. Oh no, there's too many stories.
Which one?
Well, the Limitless Potential Mastermind, you're talking about letting go of stuff, and there was one lady that lived in a house for 30 years. Lived in this house for 30 years, and then all of a sudden after the LPM she was banging into walls, banging into doors, falling down the stairs because she was shifting the
timelines. Yeah.
I mean, come on.
And she was recalibrating. And the thing with that particular person is that she's done so much work, but it's really, there's certain things in the physical that she was hanging on to, So it was harder for her to re-render.
Yeah.
So she was struggling a little bit, but she'll adapt, she always does. So,
sorry, come back to the hot water.
Yeah, the hot water. Okay, so this one woman, I love this story so much because it's fascinating. Okay, so let's back up. So she's just moved across the country and lives in a fabulous new house, that she's renting. Okay, and in this house, her hot water heater fritzed out, right? So she gets into the shower one day and the water's cold. So she's like, oh no. So she calls her landlords, so sorry, hot water heater's not working. They send over a plumber. The plumber looks at the hot water heater and is like, yeah, this thing is really on its last legs. I can try and do this patch thingy or repair fixity thing, but I don't know how long it's gonna hold.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, great. If you can fix it now so I can take a shower, that'd be amazing, right?
Yeah.
And she's got laundry to do, dishes to clean, body to wash. So anyway, he fixed it and it held. And she was like, okay, good. It seems to be working. And of course, her landlord doesn't want to throw down the $5,000 it is to replace the hot water heater. I mean, obviously, they would prefer not to do that. Okay, but it seems to be doing fine. She goes away for vacation for a month, comes home. She's running around trying to get ready. She has to get ready for a class or a webinar she's going to give online. She's worked out. She jumps into her shower and cold water, right? She's like, oh no, there's no hot water. So she's like, oh no, what do I do? What do I do? So she like sponges like really quick. She's like, okay, we just get sort of clean. And then writes her landlord again and says, the hot water's out. And she's tried to relight it. I mean, she's not just like, oh my God, this thing. She's like actually tried to relight it a number of times. It's not holding the gas, the flame. Okay. So now what happens is he sends another plumber out. So the landlord sent another plumber out. And the plumber looks at it and is like, yeah, I can see the patch that your other guy did. And it worked. He probably told you it wouldn't hold, right? And she's like, yeah. He's like, well, it's kind of now dead. So you have to have the hot water heater replaced. And she's like, oh, God. So she tells her landlords, okay, guys, like, I'm sorry, but the hot water heater is now dead. You have to replace it. But I don't, and they say to her, well, we don't know how long it's going to take. We have to order the thing. It has to be installed, blah, blah, blah. And she's thinking to herself, okay, how many days is it going to take? I need hot water. Okay. She attends the LPM session on the heavy, dense timeline release. And it knocks her out, actually, because it's a really high frequency resonance. She falls asleep. Next day, she gets up really, really early because that's what she does. And by habit, like gets into the shower, right? She's not quite fully awake. She gets in the shower, hot water.
Whoa! Right? I love that story. I mean, that's literally changing your reality.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, she's had hot water ever since. So I love that story. So that's what happens. When you access different higher resonating timelines, things shift, you know, and people shift, you shift. What comes in terms of resources for you, in terms of what you're manifesting, shifts and gets faster. So for me, what's happening is things are coming into my field, like resources and ideas and strategies and people with, you know, all that stuff are coming in at a really rapid rate, like one after another. And I know I have to pay attention because I know that somehow I'm co-creating this, and this is the pathway of getting to where it is that I'm manifesting or co-creating, but I don't yet know what even that's going to look like. You know what I mean? I just know that it's coming in. So I'm paying attention right now because once you release those lower, heavier, denser timelines, things speed up because your resonance has risen substantially. And therefore the timelines that you are in now are very different. So things happen faster. Yeah.
And do you think that's because we're being buoyed by the shift that is happening at the universal level as well? It's like you have talked about this.
Yes.
That this time is coming and that we're preparing for it. And now it feels like it's here and folk are actually experiencing it in real time. Like they're doing the work, like you say, through the Limitless Potential Mastermind, because it is the advanced program. Like
it is the most advanced
in
program.
fairness now, we have to let folk know that it is an advanced program, and it is 2 hours in this one group that are all focused on that one topic.
Yes.
And it really does make folk, I think it takes you to the extreme of your frequency bandwidth.
Yes.
And you sit there for 2 hours in it.
Yeah.
So by the time you're finished, you're like, what just happened?
Yeah.
You know?
And it's what's really cool about the Limitless Potential Mastermind is that because it's this time,
that's what I'm getting at.
yeah, it's starting to buoy things, like it's very advanced work because it's meant to help not only the people in the group, but consciousness to rise, which then dovetails into things that we're doing, like, for example, the Portland retreat that fit in with that, and the big retreat we're giving in Egypt. All of it's tied together in this way that I don't understand yet. But it's strange because Egypt, like for me, like, and just so you know, guys, the Egypt retreat has sold out, so I'm not trying to sell you anything. But I mean, it's really, like, I'm almost like nervously excited because I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what that's going to be.
and let me share my experience for the last Limitless Potential Mastermind class. It was so intense for me, right? And typically I'll come out of one of the classes and I'll be with my family and they're fine, and then by the afternoon they're a little bit like, they're getting through their stuff, and I know it's because of what happened.
Yes.
But this time I came out and within half an hour they were off throwing wobblies. I was like,
yeah, so they're starting, because of your resonance changing, their resonance is changing.
And I think, like you say, at the time, they're already being primed anyways.
Yes.
And then, you know, I come in and do my work and they're going, wah! And then Gary does his work and everybody goes, wah! And before we know it, all this other stuff is happening. The life starts to shift. The things are, like you say, opportunities. So there really is this double impact thing happening with the timelines collapsing universally, and with the work that you're providing and folk doing it, you can see the double impact.
Yeah, exactly,
of it.
totally. And the amazing thing about right now is, you know, the choices that we make with our frequency resonance at this time really matters because we're being supported by so much on the greater levels to have this jump in consciousness.
Yeah.
So it's like we're getting like a big leg up. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so it's like a big boost, you know, in addition to our own work.
Yeah.
So what you can do in terms of your resonance rising generally is so much greater. And I know it's kind of like, it's hard to express to people the feeling of those timelines dissolving. It's really difficult to explain to somebody. And for a lot of people like who are in Living Your Brilliance or the Limitless Potential Mastermind who are doing the work around it, I mean, they're in the, like some people are like through it and some people are still in it. So it's kind of like really wobbly because if you change timelines, if you just change one of them, it's like, what just happened?
Yeah.
You might not know what it means, but you can really feel it. But if you release a bunch of them that are your heaviest, denser ones, like, you're really going to be like, what is going on?
Yeah, slammed.
Yeah, slammed. And, you know, it's funny, like you were saying at the very beginning about nostalgia, it was funny because before the last Limitless Potential Mastermind, actually, we gave on Sunday,
Yeah.
it was weird. I was like in super nostalgia land. You know, I was thinking about people that I haven't thought about in a long time. I had the sense, just like you, like I was going, I can't remember, I was just, you know, crossing through the corridor or something. And I had this feeling of, the feeling of being in my old house. It wasn't like a big deal.
Yeah.
My old house in San Francisco, leaving the bathroom, walking into our bedroom.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. Something I did many, many times.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden it was like I was in that, I was like, that's really weird. You know, like what, I haven't thought about our old house in San Francisco in a really, like I just don't think about it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden there it was, and it was really strange, you know? So,
And typically if something like that happens, it's like a smell triggers it.
Yeah.
Or a color or a picture or something, but there's
Nothing.
nothing. I mean, we're in Mexico.
Yeah. No.
There's no smells here that are familiar to Scotland.
Yeah. And
Maybe just my bad breath.
anyway.
I would love it if there is any. Is this okay to do that? If there is any folk in Limitless Potential Mastermind or Living Your Brilliance that are watching this now,
Yeah.
if they're experiencing something like this, I would love to hear.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Yeah, if you
know?
if you guys are here and you feel like sharing, if you could type it into the chat, that would be really great, and then other people can learn from it. Because I think during this time, your experience is going to be your experience. Okay,
Yeah.
so just so for everyone to know, it's not like if you don't have this experience,
Yeah.
then you're screwed and you're not achieving whatever you're supposed to be achieving. Okay, or that you think you're supposed to be achieving.
Yeah.
It's really more that everyone's experience is unique.
Yes.
How much you release, what you're aware of is really dependent on how much you're hanging on, how fearful you are, how much work you're doing, where your frequency resonance is, if you're confirming the removal. Because confirming the removal, I know it's like a super basic tool, but guys, you need to be doing this like all the time. It's
fundamental, eh?
really fundamental. If you're not doing it, I mean, that's what saved that woman on the trail.
Yeah.
She was just like, no. Like, she stepped into her authority as co-creator and she's like, no,
Yeah.
I don't want this anymore.
Not anymore.
Exactly. And so it's a really important tool because, you know, all the work that we give is really critical in terms of giving you a massive push. But like, you have free will, you have your authority as co-creator, you trump everything because it's your creation.
Yeah.
So that's why confirming the removal is so important. So I mentioned that because some people are like, well, I can't afford the Limitless Potential Mastermind. I'm like, you can afford the GFC, which is $29 on our website, and it's really pivotal. So, and you can watch the Mastering Your World of Frequencies that we gave on that particular topic as well,
Yeah.
about confirming the removal.
And I like what you say about everybody's experience is unique because I have a friend, and you know who this friend is, and I won't mention her name, but she has the easiest detox. I'm so jealous. She just sleeps.
I know.
But what's
She
been
does.
happening to
She
her?
just sleeps.
Yeah.
God.
What's been happening to her lately is that she's been sleeping more.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, it's like I was visiting her just recently, and she was like, "I'm gonna have to go sleep again." You know, it's like, yeah, that's what happens when you let go.
Yeah, exactly. It's like because why that happens, just for everyone to know, is the reason you need to sleep a lot is because your physical body has to adjust to what's happening on frequency level.
Because as you said, you've taken the body with us.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Yes. So you've chosen to awaken in the body, which means that your physical vibration of your body needs to rise as in conjunction with the rest of your frequency resonance rising. Yeah. And so this friend who I know you're talking about, she's also in the Limitless Potential Mastermind. And it's like, I don't know what we did in this past semester, but I was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like the depth of what we did, I was like, it blew honestly, I mean, I don't have expectation, but it blew my mind. I was just
Yeah.
like, holy Moses.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Two
so
will meet in
yeah,
Egypt.
yeah,
soon.
exactly, exactly. So anyway, I don't know. Has there been anybody who shared, Chris? No. Okay.
Yeah, it probably takes too long.
It takes
to
too
write.
long to write because it's like this whole long thing. Okay, so should we open the floor to
I
questions?
think
You
we
think?
better. I think I've talked enough.
I think we
Ariana?
both have. All right, guys. So if you have any questions, then please write them in the chat, and we are going to give away a fact.
Sorry, I'm just listening.
Okay, we are going to give away. I thought I was getting the eyeball from Chris, but no, I was preempting him. So we're going to give away something at the end of the questions, like we always do. And this time, for those of you who didn't get to join, we're giving away that workshop called the Frequency Catalyst, skyrocketing your resonance to the quantum magic, to the magic of the quantum. Sorry. So to do that, you would write hashtag FC only in the comments. So hashtag FC, and then we'll do our giveaway. That is a $249 program, so you might want to do that if you didn't get to attend. And for now, though, to give you a little bit of time, if you have questions, then please go ahead and write them in the chat function. And I'm going to have a little bit of problem seeing that far away.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
You have to read them out loud or something.
Okay, Chris is going to have to read them out loud to me. All right, guys, because we're on teeny screen here.
Here we go. Yvonne says, I can remember, but they don't trigger me anymore. So I think memories.
Uh-huh.
And I get to see it from multiple points of view.
Uh-huh.
Am I still releasing old timelines, resonating in lower frequencies?
Yeah, so like I said, you're all different, and what you experience will be different. So for some of you, you'll have a very emotional experience when you do this, because the point, by the way, not only about releasing the lower denser timelines, it's also for some of you to find your own authority, to be like, no, these patterns don't get to run me anymore. That's not what's happening anymore.
Yeah.
Right? So it's about knowing that you can transcend your emotions, because we always, or not always, often fall prey to our emotion, right? Like we're having the emotion, it's like really strong, your body's reacting, you're in it, the thoughts are going. It's like, it's really hard to get out of
Yeah.
that thing.
Because you get that neurophysiological response happening. Like
Yeah.
The nervous system gets fired. and
Yeah,
Boom.
boom, yeah. So now you're in it. So for some of you, it's really intense emotionally right now, because part of what you're doing is establishing your it sounds really weird, but your power in relation to those things, to know that you can transcend it. If you're having the memories and they don't feel like anything, and you are still releasing, then chances are you are releasing those lower, heavier timelines. My feeling, Yvonne, for you is it's not just emotion. It has to do with something that will present itself in your reality, where it'll feel like something that you've struggled with in the past. I probably should look here, I'm sorry. It's probably something that you've struggled with in the past, or a person you've struggled with in the past, or someone who's similar to a person that you've struggled with in the past. That's probably what it's going to be more like for you. Okay, so it's not going to just be like an emotion like on its own. It's probably going to be an interaction where you normally would be triggered in a certain way, and how you respond to it will matter. Does that
So
make
in
sense?
real time.
In real time, yeah. And if you can give yourself the space to be like, instead of just being in the trigger of it, being like, oh, wait a minute. Like, I do feel small here because I feel like she's talking behind my back, or I feel like I'm failing or not doing a good enough job, or whatever the thing is, okay? Or they're trying to push in my space, or whatever the thing is. Okay, Yvonne? So I think that's what it's going to look like more for you, okay? Hopefully it's helpful as context. They don't really dissolve very well. They dissolve partially, but not enough to go away. So it's to really take advantage of this time. It's to confirm the removal. You have to do it, because part of the growth opportunity here that's been given to us, even though it feels not great, honestly. That's been my experience of it. It's been feeling not wonderful sometimes, but it is to not get sucked into those distortions, to get sucked into those lower, heavier, denser timelines, and to be like, no, I don't want to have it. So it is important to do the confirm the removal process in order to release them completely. To answer your question.
That's really, like when you were saying earlier,
Mm-hmm.
there is something in there about owning your authority.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a confirm the removal. Yeah, it needs to be done if you really want to confirm the removal of them.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something in choosing to do the confirm the
Exactly.
removal that puts you back in your seat of authority.
Exactly.
Right?
That's right. Because part of what we're doing is recognize that we are co-creator of everything.
Mm.
Now, I know that this is words I say often.
Yeah.
So people have an intellectual understanding of what that means. They're
Yeah.
like, okay, I co-create everything, right? But when you feel
Mm.
that you co-create everything, you really step into a much higher resonance where you really are experiencing yourself more as consciousness, as part of everything, as part of the one.
Yeah.
Like really when you feel it, when you experience it. And I'm pausing because it's actually hard to explain a little bit in words.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what you're moving into. And you can't really step into that unless you choose to be like, no, I don't want those other things. You know, it's like you said, it's that assertion of who you are that's important in the confirm the removal process.
Yeah.
So hopefully that helps.
There's a follow-up question.
Oh, follow-up question? Great.
someone
I can,
else, but
okay,
related.
great.
Is it important to name the distortion pattern when confirming the removal?
It is not important to name the distortion pattern when you confirm the removal. Absolutely not. That I have this weird special ability to name the distortion patterns. I don't
Yeah, you
really
do.
know
Yeah.
why I have that ability, but most people don't, right? You know what it feels like,
Yeah.
right? Because you're like, oh, this feels shitty. I don't want that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like for that woman who was on the trail, for example.
Yeah.
For her, she had a certain number of thoughts, right? Like, I'm failing, I'm all alone, like, I'm not fixable, like, there's something just freaking wrong with me, and there's nothing I can do to make it better because no one can fix this,
Yeah.
right? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or, like, I'm, everyone else is better than me, or whatever, like, her thoughts, right?
Yeah.
So, now, did she need to know what exactly those patterns were? No, she just knew the feeling of it. She was like, oh, I felt this way before.
Yeah.
I don't like it. And I know that a pattern is running it because the thing is your emotions and your thoughts are like a physical symptom, like an embodiment of or tell or experience of your distortion patterns.
Yeah.
So she didn't have to name it. She was just like, whatever this feeling is here, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't have to, whoever's asking that question. It's a great question. No, it's not important.
What I do, I put an image on it.
Mm.
So I might not know what it is, but I'll maybe put a Tasmanian devil and imagine whatever all them things are as a Tasmanian devil having a tantrum. I'm like, oh no. Or, something in a really dark cloak, with big, long, creepy fingers. That'll describe whatever all these feelings or triggering and emotions are like, no.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's actually really smart. Or for some of you who are, some of you, not many of you, but some of you are knowers, so you don't really feel and you can't really imagine like visuals
Yes.
as well. For some of you, and I know this is frustrating for those of you who are knowers because it's really like dicey. You can't tell if it's done. So you'll know if you're in a high enough resonance, and some of you will need the help of the GSC, but you'll know that it's cleared. Now, for those of you who are knowers, if your resonance is lower, your mind's going to get in there and be like, I don't know, did I not? I don't know. I can't tell. It seems like a lot like a thought, blah, 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 right? So believe me, I know the pain of that. And at some point, as you release more and more, you'll realize, okay, I'm just going to trust that it's done.
Surrender.
Surrender. Yeah, exactly. And you'll know that you need to release more when life presents to you another opportunity that triggers you, for
Yeah,
example.
right.
So hopefully it's helpful. But I think Fiona's idea of like the Tasmanian devil image is really cute. For some of you, you'll feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully it's helpful. I'm trying to give you as many things. Some of you will feel it in your bodies. So you'll feel like a tension like in your gut,
Yeah.
or you'll feel like sweaty, or you'll get really, really, really hot, or something will happen in your physiology.
Yeah.
And then as you clear it, it's almost like your body will go into relaxation. It'll be like, oh, okay.
Or
Right?
somebody will come in to help you release it.
Yeah.
Like the you'll feel. For me, what's happened is I'll be feeling this knot, this tension, and then I'll just feel that whatever, and no matter what I'm doing, breathing, whatever, I can't release it, and then suddenly somebody will ring and say, "Hey, there's a free appointment to get Hilda for a massage," or something. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm taking it."
Yeah,
it's,
yes.
It's interesting how
Yeah.
it'll work for
For
you.
you. Yeah.
when you're
Like somebody
paying
will come in.
attention.
Yeah. Somebody will come in to help. So hopefully that answers your questions.
There are 3 questions that I'm going to read in a row that are all related. So that you can-
questions
Okay.
that are related that Chris is going to read in a row, and I'm going to try to answer all of them. All right, guys, here we go. Let's see how good I am at this.
So Renee asks, can consciousness lead us to physically be with the people who most trigger? What?
They hear you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry, Karen interrupted me so she could ask if people could hear. And of course, you guys can all hear me being interrupted by Karen and telling her that you can hear. So I'm going to start again.
Sorry, guys.
Renee says, can consciousness lead us to physically be with the people who most trigger those deep, heavy distortions so we can release them? That's one question. Another question is, this is Betsy. And what she says is, how important is it to name the triggers accurately in order to transmute the old patterns? I feel like I used to have to fix things or run away, but it might be better to be with the crap. And last question, someone who's called This Is Not a Cleaning Channel says, sometimes bad things happen and bad feelings arise. When to sit with it and when to remove it out?
Okay, they're all really great questions. So for the first question, do sometimes bad things happen in order for you to see it? Yes. Yep. Something will come to trigger you. And the reason that it works like that is because then you really are aware of it in a very visceral, uncomfortable, and sometimes painful way. So yes, sometimes that will be given to you. It happens to me. I'm like, oh, great. This is a not optimal experience. Right? So you're in the humanness of it, right? It doesn't feel very good. Okay, so yes, to answer that question. Okay. And then Betsy's question was,
Do you have to name it?
do you have to name the trigger? So you know you don't need to name the trigger. That was Betsy's
Better
question.
sometimes sit in it.
Yeah. Oh, is it better to sometimes sit in it? Yeah. So what I would say is a lot of people want to just like run away from the bad feeling. Okay. And the thing is, you have to be with it in order to be able to sit with it and then to release it. Okay. I know that does not feel good. I know it is hard to do. And we don't like those negative feelings. It doesn't feel nice to us. But the thing is, if you're always just trying to push it away, that's your response to it because you're in a resistance to it, you're actually not really addressing the distortion.
Yeah.
Because you're not actually being with it,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
So it actually takes, and I hate to break it to you, but I only say this because I have to do it myself, is that you have to be with it. Okay, so I think Betsy and the cleaning, something, not a cleaning channel.
Yeah, when
they-
to sit, when
sit-
not to.
not to. Sit with it first. And the thing is, I'm not saying you should wallow in it. I didn't say that. I'm not saying like punish yourself because you're experiencing the feeling, give yourself more suffering, tell yourself you suck more. I didn't say that. I said be in the yuck of it. Okay, because that is being in the distortion of it and acknowledging your humanness and being in the emotion of it. Some of you might find something like, like emotional freedom technique to help you with the emotion of it. Some of you will need to do something like neuro-emotional technique, which helps you release emotion out of your cells and out of your nervous system. That can help you with the emotion.
Yeah.
So once you have like sat with it and acknowledged it and like sort of been in it and sort of like almost weirdly accepted it, right? Because you're aware of it, you acknowledge that it's happening.
Yeah.
You're not wallowing in it. And you're like, and this is what's happening,
Yeah.
right? This is what is right now for me.
Yeah.
Not delightful. In fact, it sucks.
Yeah.
Okay, right? So there you are in it. Okay, so now you can pull out one of these tools to help you with emotional stuff and then do the GFC to help you release the distortion. Or you can do it in the inverse order. It doesn't really matter. But I think it is important to acknowledge it. And it's not like you're a bad person because you're having a human response. I think a lot of people think, oh, I'm not awakening because I'm having a negative human response. It's not that you're not awakening. You're human. You're going to have a negative response to some things. And the reason you're having a negative response goes back to Renee's question, which is the reason you're having that negative response is to be like, oh, I need to pay attention to this thing, which feels not delightful because there's a distortion pattern that I haven't seen. Right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people want to have almost like this super comfortable experience. The super comfortable, wrapped in gauze, I don't feel anything experience isn't like where the jump is in your momentum. It's the acknowledgement of that humanness that you have and your triggers and your stuff. Like, it's not about perfection and trying to make it all go away. It's to know that you're strong enough to be with it and that you can transcend it. That is more powerful than feeling like nothing.
Yeah, for me, I would use the word wounding.
Yeah.
You know, because for me, when it's like that, when it's ugly and messy and hurts like hell, it's a wounding and I haven't paid attention to it. And it's not, like you say, it's not about wallowing. It's like, whoa, wow, how did this come about? You know, and just like sit waiting, okay, we're gonna do this until we figure this out. And it's not like I'm figuring out with my mind. It's just like, I give myself permission. Basically.
Yeah.
And I'll keep doing the tools.
Yeah.
And we'll just keep doing the tools. But I'll give, it's like I've got a second person. I'll give you permission, but we're going to do the work at the same time. Just saying. You know, like this, take my hand.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
this kind of thing.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. So just to give yourself grace, you know, when you're being your humanness. All right. Okay. So there are more questions, but we don't have time to answer all of them. I think these were really helpful and great questions. Thank you guys for those of you who answered. And now we're going to do the giveaway. Okay. So if you want to receive emails in your inbox about the new podcast releases, which always include a free group frequency calibration, when I go live for YouTube's lives like this one, when we release Spirit Umami little episode, which are fun for us to create. We hope that you guys are enjoying them. Please be sure to subscribe to become a Spherical Luminosity Luminary. And also, only Spherical Luminosity Luminaries are invited to our special community events, okay? And where you either get something for free or you get a really big discount or something that we offer just for you guys.
Because you're special.
Because you're special. All right, so sign up for that. If you want to receive any or all of that, plus the free Moving with Ease into a Higher, Resonating More Abundant You GFC you receive for signing up, you can subscribe at the very bottom of our homepage at sphericalluminosity.com. Okay, so now we're going to do the contest for the Frequency Catalyst. So if you wanted that, please write hashtag FC. And we will give that away, and then we'll move into the group frequency calibration. The best part.
The best part.
All right, here we go. Chris is doing his fancy dancy
Is it working?
sharing technology.
It's doing so much. It's so funny. If you could see him from this side, he's got one headset in one ear, a different headset on another ear. He's got 3 screens.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's got us.
Yeah, exactly. So he's trying to do a bunch of things. Somebody who is a client of ours, who's also an actress, said to him once, you realize you're doing the job of about 8 people.
Yeah.
You know, like he actually is doing all of it. So anyway, so thank you guys for your patience. And he's trying to get the free giveaway to show up as an option. And it's not yet. So hopefully it will work shortly. And if it doesn't...
Okay, well, I need to ask you a question.
Okay, sure.
Because the customer care team were asking us to talk about this if we had an opportunity.
Okay.
And we've had a few people write in asking if Living Your Brilliance, if you'll do some of them from Egypt in October, November.
Yes. Yes, we will be doing a special... I can't remember how many it is. Is it 2? I don't remember. We have our itinerary sort of gelling right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to November LYB is going to be off the charts, I think.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I'm like weirdly nervously excited about this particular trip. And of course, like, you know, not everyone can go on that trip. It was like a $10,000 trip. So, but we'll be giving Living Your Brilliance there, I think, if I'm not mistaken, maybe twice. I can't remember,
yeah.
but we are going to be giving it there. So if you guys want to jump in and get some of the
juju,
juju,
Egyptian
yeah,
juju.
Egyptian juju, then yeah, that would be a good thing to do. Okay, so
Great.
Chris is now. Thank you, Fee, for asking me that question. So now Chris is going to pull the magical winner. Here we go.
Oh, I do like this little thing.
I know, it's fun.
Can I stick my head in and have a wee peek at that little screen?
The
No.
winner is Elizabeth Malcolm. Whoa!
That's brilliant.
All right, Elizabeth Malcolm, you get access to our Frequency Catalyst workshop. You can write into info@sphericalluminosity.com, and our fantastic customer service team will take care of you. Actually, we do have a really fantastic customer service team. Do you know that I get really irritated with customer service these days because usually it's AI? I freaking hate that. It drives me bananas.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
so, but our customer service team is lovely, thoughtful, delightful, and cares. So anyway, so just write in Miss Elizabeth Malcolm, and you will get your amazing prize. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to do a little switch because Chris wants to make sure that you can all hear me. So he's going to put on my fancy little pack, and I will go into the group frequency calibration, which will help you with the timeline tearaway.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there is a lot of messiness, upheaval-y feelings in there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, the collective is going nuts right now. It's just happening. I'm pretty sure you picked up on it. Okay. All right. So here we go. We're going to do a presto changeo. So we're going to go black on the screen for just a couple of minutes, and then I will come back by magic. Okay. Here. And we're back. Really, we do that so you don't have to see Chris's butt while he's putting on the mic. All right. So, just one more thing before I start the GFC is that, you know, we're in a really pivotal time. And so, what I'm offering through Spherical Luminosity in the next few months is going to be new, and it's for this time. Okay, so just for you guys to be aware that I am aware of, very aware of what is happening. And you don't see it yet, but we are working very hard at Spherical Luminosity to create and provide tools that and support and also accelerate. Okay, so anyway, you don't see it yet, but I'm excited about it, and I'm curious how you all feel about it. But we are double timing it right now because of this time. So just for you guys to know, to keep your eyes peeled in your inbox, because of course that's where I announce everything. And without further ado, this is what you're all here for, which is this group frequency calibration. So here we go. Let's rise together. Settling in. Becoming aware of your body, please. And as you become aware of your body, becoming aware of the heaviness of your body as it sinks into whatever is supporting you. And now, please become aware of your relative position in the room that you're in. We are doing this because where you are in space, your awareness of where you are in space, helps you to drop further into the 0 point. Now, if you don't know what the hell the 0 point is, because you've just dropped into this YouTube live and you don't know what I'm talking about, you can watch episode 151 of the podcast later, okay? Just know that this is important for you to feel centered, stable, the most adaptable, and have the most influence on your reality. What we're doing is actually quite advanced, so you need to be aware of where you are in space. So, becoming aware, please, of the very center of your solar plexus. And your solar plexus, for those of you who are new, is between your belly button and the base of your sternum. So, right in the center there, and your sternum, by the way, is that big thick bone in the center of your chest where your ribs meet in front of your body. Yeah. So now, becoming aware of the distance between the ceiling and you. It's almost like you could reach out with your hand and then drag the ceiling towards your center of your solar plexus. Okay, you can imagine that if you have a hard time imagining distance. Being aware of the distance between the floor and the center of your solar plexus. The front wall and the center of your solar plexus. The back wall and the center of your solar plexus. Left wall, center of your solar plexus. Right wall to the center of your solar plexus. Good. And now we're going to internally triangulate. So, still keeping your focus on the center of your solar plexus, right here between your belly button and the base of your sternum. And now becoming aware of the distance between your spine and the center of your solar plexus. And now your crown to the center of your solar plexus. And from the soles of each of your feet all the way out to the center of your solar plexus. Pulling you further into the 0 point of space and time. Especially because there's a lot of scatter in the field. Okay? Tremendous amount of scatter. Hang on. Good. And with this level of scatter, it's really easy to be up in your head worrying about what if. Here we go. Or in the nostalgia of those past heavier, denser timelines. I mean, they're running through you, so just those heavier, denser timelines. Good. The seat of your power is present in your body, right in the center of your solar plexus. Aware of right now. And now shifting your focus, please, to your heart space. Asking yourself the question, how can I become even more aware of my connection only to pure source? Pulling your frequency resonance up, irrespective of where it began. Good. And as you imagine, sense, feel, become aware of your brilliance, either from deep within, expanding all the way out, or from all around you, deep within. However you experience your brilliance. Becoming brighter or more expansive or more sparkly or whatever is happening for you. Also becoming aware with some part of your attention of the brilliance of the field of the one. Now, for some of you who are new, that might be a bit harder because you're not used to it. You're not even really used to your own brilliance yet. So if that's hard for you, then just focus on your own brilliance. And even if you think it might be hard, know that there's a part of you, even as you focus on your own brilliance, that is aware on some level of the brilliance of the field of the one. Good. Good. So now bring your attention, please, to your heart space, right in the center of your chest, in your nipple line. Just a minute. So what we're doing here is increasing clarity. It's really easy when you're in some really deep patterns that you're just in the emotionality of it, or the thoughts or the situation or the circumstance that you think is just random, right? You're walking along one day and blammo, there comes something, right? A situation, a relationship, maybe somebody you even haven't heard from in a long time, or perhaps just all of a sudden this chaos that happens. And it triggers all this stuff. So helping you have clarity and distance. You don't need it to be like crystal clear, just enough to be like, wait a minute, just like that woman on the trail. What's happening here? softening, please, into this space. Yeah, or if you don't know what softening means, just imagining melting, dissolving, or dropping into this space. For a little subgroup here, I'm going to release resistance. Sometimes we're funny as humans. We kind of like the misery. And even though we're beating ourselves up, even though it feels terrible, we can kind of like go into a self-pity party, right? We've all done it. And it doesn't help us, but somehow the self-pity, I don't know, makes us feel sort of validated in some odd way. So helping you release the resistance, however that shows up for you. Okay? Whether it's in self-pity, whether it's in feeling alone, whether it's beating yourself up, whether it's in self-judgment, or the myriad flavors that this can show up in. Good. Excellent. Okay. Bring your attention to your heart space. And right at the base of your groin. Okay. So when we're in a period like this, where time is just doing weird ass stuff, okay? It just is. It can be really like you're hurtling from like one thing to another, and as you're hurtling from one thing to another, then something comes in and creates more chaos or more drama or more whatever, okay? And it just adds fuel to the fire of being in the throes of those lower, denser timelines. It like amplifies it, okay? It just makes it feel worse in a way. Okay, so hang on a second. What I'm going to do here is give you time when you need it. So meaning, when you're in the throes of the emotion, the thought, whatever the downward spiral is that happens, when these heavier, denser timelines, these old distortion patterns activate, I'll give you a couple of seconds. For some of you, it'll be half a second. For some of you, it'll be a few seconds where you have time to not be pulled right into the pattern, that you're like, you have that moment of interrupt where you're like, wait a minute. This is what we worked on. Yeah, no. I am not getting pulled down by these timelines. I am releasing them. Screw that. I am confirming the removal. Okay? I can't do it for you. You must choose it. No one can do it for you. And there we go, there we go. Here we go. Yeah. Now, becoming aware, please, of the lower part of your spine. Okay, so from your waist to the tip of your tailbone. Okay. So when we go through something like this, it's just freaking weird. Okay, because you're releasing these heavier, denser timelines that have been running through your field. So that means that how you render is used to having that heaviness, that lower vibration in your field. You just think it's you. Okay. So when it starts to like crack like this, right, and you get like a toehold, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm not going to get sucked into it. I can use it. I can use this time to release these lower, denser, heavier timelines so I can ascend. Okay. What can happen is because it's weird, you can lose like your balance, your sense of time, bump into things, like lose a little bit of depth of field perception, okay? Because everything is rewiring, including your brain and your mind, okay, which is the thing that creates your reality, right? So your spirit body renders you, your brain is the projector of the reality based on your spirit body and your distortions, okay? So when something huge like this is happening, it's like your rendering is like, what in God's name is happening? You can't tell where things are. I know it's hard to understand, but the entire foundation of the reality, what you think is solid and real, is time and space. And if one of those things moves in a significant way, it affects you. Okay? So here we go. Yeah, helping you. So this has to do with strength and fluidity at the same time. Okay? So as you're aware, of this space, in fact, actually shifting your focus, please, to the center of your solar plexus and the center of your heart space, please. Thank you. Really being aware of these 2 points. Yeah, pulling you into your center. And even as you are firmly in your center, it's like there's a higher degree of adaptability, fluidity at the same time. Okay? Good. Yep, imagining, please, a really clear, crystalline light that expands through these spaces. And then out in all directions around you. Good. Excellent. Good. And now bringing your attention just to the heart space. And imagining yourself dropping into the very center of your heart. And as you fall, into the center of your heart space. It's like you're falling into a pool of infinite, brilliant blackness. This is the blackness of the void, just to be really clear. The space between all the dimensional orders, between jumps and resonance, between death and life. The resonance of absolute dissolution and absolute potential. Good. And as we dive deeper into the heart space, all that external noise, the propaganda, the worry, the agitation that's happening right now for very, very many people. It's not like you're wishing anything ill, but it doesn't affect the core of you. For a little subgroup here, it's like you feel guilty if your experience is different from what others are experiencing, okay, whether it's in the collective or people that are close to you. Your being lower in resonance does not help anybody. It only brings the resonance lower. And now, we have a bunch of people in this negative spiral dropping in resonance. It really doesn't serve anybody. Yeah, so helping this little subgroup here. Yeah, and still in that little subgroup. Yeah, it's like there's the fear that you will show them up. Okay, you're afraid of their judgment, that you're better than them. You don't think you're better than them. You're just different. You've chosen something different. Here we go. Good. Yeah, bringing your attention right in the center of the heart. Good. And as you're aware of the center of your heart space, imagining, sensing, feeling your heart space expanding in all directions around you. And what I'm amplifying here is your awareness of the beauty of the present moment. The light bouncing off of the mirror in the bathroom in the morning. A plant that you walk by on your walk to work. The sound of the birds in the garden. The rustle of the wind. There is so much beauty in the present moment if you allow yourself to be more fully in it. Without all the thoughts and the distortions and the rule sets. Yep, imagining, please, a really beautiful brilliant blue spanning in this space. Good. Yep. Nice. Bringing your attention now, please, to that xiphoid process. And all the way down to your belly button. Yeah, helping you to release this layer of attachment to those heavier, denser timelines. The way things used to be. Even if it didn't serve you, it's like weirdly comforting. So, there we go. Yeah, softening or dropping or melting into this space. Lovely. Yeah, bringing your attention now to that xiphoid process. Right at the base of the sternum. And in a straight line, about 3 inches or 7 centimeters directly beneath it. Clearing out your pain body. Because your pain body, as many of you know, holds the memory of you before all the frequency work was done, which just makes it harder and slower to integrate. So clearing this out. Good. Everyone take a big breath in. Holding your breath for a count of 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale with sound. Holding your breath out for a count of 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And breathing whenever feels good to you. Good. I recommend staying in this space for a couple of minutes, meaning in this resonance. And then whenever you are ready, blinking your eyes open, looking at something inanimate. And if you enjoyed this YouTube Live and found it valuable, I'd really appreciate a comment. It really helps us get our content to more people who need it. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you again, however our paths cross next. Let's rise together. Bye for now.